morning, everyone. My name is Karla, and you have reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is my FlossTube number 184. It is Sunday, March 26th. I cannot believe we are at the end of March already, going into April. It just seems like time is flying, which in a way is good, and in a way makes me feel slightly panicky. I don't know why. I want to say welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. If you really like what you see, if you think that what I am offering is valid and helpful, and would like to give me a sort of monetary thanks, there is a super thanks button in the box below. It is, I think, a $sign with a heart around it, and it is just an easy way for you to give me a monetary tip, which is, of course, not required, not expected, but very, very appreciated when it happens. If I do get money like that, it basically goes back into the channel to help pay for my monthly Zoom subscription, for my monthly Zoom meetups that I do with the community, and, you know, shipping costs, occasional shipping costs, whatever. Yes, so thank you in advance if you do that. Welcome if you are new, if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I want to say thank you. Just a heartfelt thank you for all of the support that you guys gave me all through my channel, but last week I got a lot of people who were very kind and complimentary and just supportive to me, and I just really appreciate that. I do really enjoy and appreciate all of your support and your comments and just being my online stitchy friends. So thank you so much. In advance, please forgive me if I get sort of gravelly throat, or I need to grab a tissue, or all those kinds of things. I switched my over-the-counter allergy medicine a couple weeks ago. I've been taking, you know, a form of Zyrtec for like years, and I felt like it was getting less effective. And I know people have told me, like, you know, every year, so you should switch off between like Zyrtec and Claritin or whatever. So I did that. I switched to Claritin, and I don't think it's working as well for me, because ever since I switched, I've been feeling not sick. I mean, not, you know, like but you know that feeling when you feel like you're kind of coming down with a cold, but then you never do, that sort of scratchiness in your throat and scratchiness in your sinuses and more sneezy nose blowing than usual. That's how I felt for the last couple weeks. You know, it is getting to be spring weather, so I'm sure that seasonal allergies are stronger right now. And then that mixed with switching my allergy medication, I thought that it would be like stronger if I switched, but it seems to be not as strong. And I don't know, it's making me feel sort of sneezy and itchy in general. So forgive me if that manifests itself. I got a comment last week, and I wanted to give a shout out to somebody who follows my channel, and she mentioned to me that she has a channel, a small channel, and would appreciate it if I would shout her out. So I said, of course I will. Her channel name is She Empowered, and she has sort of an eclectic channel. I took a look at it. I subscribed. It's not all FlossTube. She has FlossTube scattered throughout, but she's also doing all kinds of the typical YouTube type stuff, reviewing things and unboxings, and, you know, it's just a little bit of everything, which I think is great if, you know, somebody using YouTube to share their joy in life. So she also does have, as I said, she has FlossTubes scattered in there. Her first one, she shows some stuff and does kind of like a stitch with me. So again, her name is She Empowered, and her actual name, I think it begins with a V. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. And I don't want to start guessing. But I think it begins with a B. But anyway, check that out if you're interested. And, you know, she's another KarlaBeingCrafty a subscriber and supporter, so give her a little bit of love. Okay, so I mentioned our Zoom. We had a Zoom meetup last week, last Sunday, which was lovely. It was always so nice getting together with you guys. I think everybody had a good time. I actually was the one who was having issues that day for some reason. I don't know if it is my internet connection or the fact that I'm using a Chromebook to get onto Zoom. I don't know. I was having tons of trouble. Zoom kept booting me out. Yes, Baggy. I got booted out. Like, at one point I thought, oh, it's every half hour. Then it was like every 5 minutes. I mean, it ebbed and flowed. The nice thing was, is though, although I was hosting the meeting didn't end because I got booted out. I just had to go and log back into the meeting, and then the meeting was still going. So I guess on the meeting, they kept seeing me pop off. I would disappear, then I come back, then I disappear, then I come back. So that was going on for a while. So I don't know if that's going to clear itself up. One of my friends said, try to reboot your internet before we start the meeting, so I'm going to try that next time. Again, it doesn't seem to affect anybody else who's on the meeting, just me. So still come on. It's not gonna be a problem for you if I'm having this issue. But it was fun. Anyway, so I did schedule the next one for, I want to say it's Sunday, April 16th. It is in the box below, with all of the login information. But we're gonna do Sunday again, Sunday the 16th at 2 p.m. So that will be after Easter, before the end of the month, after Passover, so hopefully that will be a good day for everybody. Oh, I always tell you guys about the Southern California weather. We had a lot of rain last week here. Monday, it's like Sunday through Wednesday, it was rainy and gloomy. And then Thursday it cleared up. So the last 3 days have been bright and sunny and highs in the high 60s. And it's supposed to be like that for another couple days. And then it's supposed to be rainy again, like Wednesday, Thursday, which I really hope it's not too rainy on Wednesday, because Wednesday's the day that I start doing my laundry, because I get home a little bit earlier on Wednesday. But the problem is my whole thing with doing my laundry and the whole laundry saga is carrying the stuff up and down the outside stairs, which is difficult for me. And I'm not going to do it when it's rainy and wet and slippy, because those stairs are slippy already without me trying to carry a big bag of laundry up and down them. So I didn't do it last week, and I didn't do it the week before because I was sick. So we're now getting on to a couple weeks, and I need to do a load of laundry this week. So hopefully it won't be too rainy and I can go ahead and do a load this week. I have a lot of clothes, so it doesn't matter that much, except that the pile starts getting ridiculous, and I tend to run out of underwear, as everybody does. Okay. So I feel like I have a really lot to show you this week, so this may be a long video. I mean, you already know that before you clicked, because you can see how long the video is. But I do have a lot of stuff to show you, my whips for this week, and plans for next month, and something else. So yeah, so get a drink or whatever, get your stitching out. Work this past week, super busy for me, super kind of busy, stressful. I talked about this before, and I can't mention a lot about my job online, just that, I work for a financial planner, and I'm the one who does pretty much all the paperwork, all of the client servicing. And a fact of life, when you've worked for somebody who's in this industry for a long time, their clients start getting older, and we have had in the past year a lot of clients unfortunately pass away. What that means for me is it's a lot of claim paperwork, and I feel like when I'm doing this that I really truly am doing a service to our clients, because claim paperwork is confusing and difficult, and I can see, I mean, it's not that difficult for me because I know what I'm doing, but I could see how if you were grieving the loss of a parent or a spouse, and then all of a sudden you have this big stack of papers that you have to fill out. I mean, it could be overwhelming. So I am glad that I'm able to help people in that way, but it's just like we've had a lot that have happened in the last year. And what happens too is if somebody passes away and they have, you know, and let's say they were a widow or a widower or single at that point, you know, usually their children are their beneficiaries. If they have multiple children, then it's multiple sets of paperwork. Anyway, so I was in one of those situations this past week, and the client actually passed away last June. So, you know, it was getting to be kind of a deadline, like these kids have to make a decision on what to do. And one of them had decided something on one of the accounts, and I was helping to complete the paperwork and realized we were coming up on a deadline Monday. So this was Thursday, and it was like, oh my gosh, she wants to make this election. We have to get this paperwork in by Monday. Basically because her brother had taken his claim in January, and that started the clock. And they only had 60 days to make a certain election. Not like you can't do everything, but it's just like this particular election you can only do within 60 days of them getting the death certificate. So anyway, so that was like a huge, like, oh my God. So of course she doesn't live in California. She lives in Oklahoma or something. I've had contact with her planner there, who is very nice. But it was like, I was calling him going, we have to get her to sign this paperwork today and into the company tomorrow. You know, it was a lot. So I needed my like relaxation this week and coming home and doing crafts and this weekend. And really today, that is my plans after I finish my video, is I'm gonna relax and maybe make some soup in my Instant Pot because I have been doing that and enjoying it lately. Yeah, that's the big plans. Because it was a tough work week, just a stressful sort of busy work week, which I guess is good and that time goes by fast, but boy, I was tired at the end of every day. Okay, I think that's it for the preamble. Let me get into showing you all of the stuff I have to show you. The first thing I have to show you is an FFO, which shouldn't be a big surprise since I showed you the finished thing last week, but I did do, oops, I have a crease here. Gigi using these poster hangers. Now, you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, I am so not, I want to say not a perfectionist, but I make little mistakes all the time. And when I hung Eva, I was like, oh, I got the hangers that I got are a little bit too long. They're like, I got an inch too big and they're sticking out on the side. And so this time I got them a teeny bit too short, I think, because I should have folded my fabric in a little bit more, and I didn't. So I think it looks okay. Eventually, because the nice thing is because these are interchangeable, right? They're just magnets. I can switch them around. So as I do more of these, I can kind of try and figure out the best lengths and sizes and everything. But anyway, Gigi is done. I think I really like how she came out on this background's fabric. I like how it really, to me, looks three-dimensional. I mean, she really looks like she is, you know, closer than the cottage in the background. So I'm really happy with that, how that came out. And if I have the energy to get on a step stool this week, hopefully next week she will be hanging right about there. And somebody said that the problem with where Eva is that when I'm sitting here, you can't see her, but you will be able to see Gigi. So that's good. Excuse me. Okay. So whips this week. First, I did work on my diamond painting a teeny bit. I know I'm shocked too. This is I'm calling it Purple Path. It doesn't really have, it says Tree is the name, because this is not like a good quality, you know, like Diamond Art Club or anything like that. This is like one of those China kits. If I hold it back, you can kind of see what it's supposed to look like when it's done. Although the pattern, the blank canvases are never as nice looking as the diamond painted portion, but I just did this little section here. And I have been enjoying doing that a little bit. I didn't do any work on my little golden book journals this week. I was on a phone call with my friend yesterday, and I had intention of doing some stuff on little golden book journals, and what I actually did was organize a little bit, and so it'll make it easier to work on little golden book journals next time I sit down to do it. Okay, so let's get into whips for this week. I worked on Wind Moon Fairy, which is a Dimensions kit. On the, you know, everything's kit, fabric, kit, floss. And I basically just worked on the background. I filled in this whole section was empty, and so I filled that in. I feel like a bunch of my stitching this week, if not all, I'll have to see when I pull everything out, was like unexciting bits of the thing, but you know, you still have to do it kind of thing. It was more like fill-in or background or the unexciting part, you know, but it needs to be done, right? On Sunday on my Zoom call, I worked on my counter canvas, which is Country Garden, the Floral Quilt series from Nancy's Needles. I perhaps didn't get as much done as I would have liked because of the getting booted out and coming back on, and getting booted out and coming back on, but I actually did get quite a bit done, so I'm happy with the progress on this. As you can see, I've changed some of the background is, instead of being kind of that gray color, I changed it to sort of a rosy pink, which I do like. And then my colorful flower is a different floss as well. The one in the chart is called Ethiopia, and it is more like orange purple pink, and mine is more like yellow purple pink, and mine is called Peach Melba. So enjoying this as I enjoy pretty much all counted canvas. I think it's looking really pretty so far. Okay, and that is my Zoom project, basically because, and I say this every time, it has to do with the fact that I can see, I can work on counted canvas wearing my regular, like, 2x magnification glasses, meaning I can also see the computer. When I stitch on cross stitch, I wear 4x magnification glasses and to see the cross stitch, but I can't see the computer if I do that. It's blurry because they're too strong. Do you want to come up here for a second? Come up. Oh, this is Bagheera. He's got to get into the act, you know? He's got to say hi. He's got to make his presence known. Oh, he purrs so loud, you guys. I know you can never hear on the videos, but he is such a loud purr. Okay. Is that good? Can you get down now? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Next. Oh. I worked on my full coverage, Let Sleeping Dragons Lie. Oh. Thank you. This is charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. The artwork is by Amy Brown. Almost said Amy Stewart, but no, Amy Brown. And I am doing this 2/110 on 28 count Lugana that I dyed myself. This is a no backgrounds chart. It is still huge and gonna take me forever. But I did another diagonal. I'm still down in the green corner. But it's fun. I'm really enjoying working on this. I can't wait till I get to a point where I hit like the dragon, some of the dragon. Like a color other than green will be exciting. I decided to go ahead and put this in a Q-snap and kind of leave it in there because there's so much fabric. It was like annoying to try and wrangle it every time. So I figured I'd do it this way. And then I took one of my grime guards that I got from, I ordered these from Giron tote bags. And I know that they make ones that will fit onto Q-snaps, but I just cut it. I cut holes so that it would fit. And yeah. So, I mean, I have a ways to go before I'm gonna have to move anything. You know, definitely at least 6 more diagonals. And that will take me a while. As you know, as you get to bigger diagonals, they obviously take longer to do. So, oops. These are fake Q-snaps, by the way. They are not Q-snaps. They are frames from Amazon. But I do like this set because you can make it like a table stand, but I actually stitch kind of reclining on my daybed, and I have a special pillow that I put, and then I prop this kind of on the pillow, and it works really well. What are you doing? Okay, cats. Okay, I worked on Bellatrix this week. My Bella Filipina. Where's her picture? Well, you guys probably know. I mean, everybody and their uncle has done or is doing Bellatrix. Because she's gorgeous, so of course. And this is one of the ones I was talking about that I was working on sort of unexciting stuff this week, but you know, it had to be done. So I filled in, I had a big like gap in this top border line, or one of them. So I filled that, and then I started doing stitches on the outline of the window. So I only had like the light row and like one row of the darker, and so I had to add, you know, like what? Like seven stitches in each little row. So I did all the way up to here. So again, not super exciting, but you know, everything has to be stitched, so. She's really pretty. I'm excited to work on her every time I do. Okay, and then last but definitely not least, I worked on my Sweet Pea Fairy, which is my newest Fancy Lady by Joan and Elliot. And I did a little bit of everything on her actually this week. I worked a little bit on the skin. I put some beads in the skin because I didn't want to lose those holes. Because the skin, because it's light and the fabric's light, it's hard to see to work on. I mean, I think it's gonna look wonderful in the project when it's done, but it's just a little bit more challenging to work on as far as seeing it. So, you know, you have to leave the holes for the beads. So I went ahead and filled in the beads. And then I kind of started working a little bit on her hair, and I worked some on the blue sort of scarf thing or shawl or whatever. And the threads that you see hanging, there's a lot of like back stitch on this. And so I did some of the back stitch that, you know, when it had the stitches on both sides of it, I'll do the back stitch, but I don't want to cut off the thread, so I just parked them. But everything about this project kind of makes me feel happy. I like the chart. I like the colors in the chart. I like the fabric that I'm using. It all just kind of makes me feel springy and happy and, you know, good feelings. So this is a nice project to work on. And that is it. That's all my whips for the week. And I only have, you know, we have what, 5 days left of March. So 5 days with my fancy folk. And then most of them are going to be set aside at least for a month. And April, we're starting my friends and family, which I will go over with you in a bit. But before that, normally I talk about haul at this point. So, and one thing before I get into that, one of the nights this week I didn't stitch. Well, I did stitch, but I didn't stitch on a project because I stitched on this, which I put together for my video that I've talked about a couple times about doing a sort of, I don't know what's the word, retrospective review of sparkly flosses, and I did do that video yesterday, so look for it on Wednesday, unless I forget to put it up, but I should be uploading it Wednesday. But I thought as part of that, it would be good to have kind of an example board or example sampler of the flosses that I was talking about, so I did that this week. Which took a whole evening. So I have this lovely piece of work that after this video, what do I do with it? Probably take it out of the hoop, fold it up, and stick it in a drawer or something. But yeah, so, you know, it's one of those things that took time, wasn't particularly fun to do, but it took away from my project time, but it was necessary for this video, and I think that the video is going to be fun to watch. So anyway, that was one evening I did that, worked on that. Okay, so back into talking about haul and the title of the video, on into something new. Yep, I am a crazy person. Oh shit. All this stuff over here, okay. So, yes, I'm a crazy person, but perhaps in the best possible way. So, I'm into something new. I started, teaching myself crochet. Why crochet, you ask? I don't know, because I got a wild bug in my ear. I know a lot of people in the FlossTube community, at least the people I watch, a lot of them do knitting. I do know how to knit, very basic knitting. I've made scarves. My best Knitting is just kind of doing straight knitting on a big long scarf using a fancy like eyelash yarn, so the yarn's doing all the work. Don't totally enjoy knitting. I haven't done it in a really long time. And I never really got into doing anything fancier with the knitting, but crochet has always kind of fascinated me. Part of what fascinates me is it seems like it goes really fast, like it grows really fast. And it's very sort of, when I watch like knitting like tutorials or videos, which I don't watch very often. I mean, I watched some this week because I'm trying to teach myself. It has a very ASMR sort of feeling watching it happen. So with all that being said, what did I get? What have I started? Again, as I said, I'm trying to kind of like teach myself. And so far, like I watched a video and that's the project that I started. I'm doing it according to a video. I didn't want to go crazy buying stuff because I so can, and I cannot afford to do that. So I tried really hard to hold myself back. So this all started because I saw an ad on Instagram, I think, for a company called Whirlpool, which has very beginner teaching you how to crochet and I'm gonna butcher this word, the amagaruchi, I think, or you know, the little cute animals that are crocheted. And I was like, hey, that looks like fun. I would like to learn how to do that. And I went to the company website and I looked, and it was like $35 for this little animal. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's too expensive. And so, of course, then I went to Amazon and I'm like, okay, show me beginning crochet kits. And I was just looking at this amagaruchi stuff to start with. So I ordered a kit. The first kit I ordered was this, because I thought it was cute. These tulips in the thing. And I got it and I opened it up, and first of all, the knitting or the crochet hook that came with it is this little plastic thing that looks like crap, and I'm like, that is going to be difficult to use. And then it doesn't have instructions. It has a link to a video, which I haven't even looked at yet. So I was like, okay, set that aside. Then I got another kit. And again, I was looking for sort of inexpensive. I got inexpensive. This one I think was $9. And this I think was $18, something like that. So I was trying not to spend a ton. Because I know me, you know, all of a sudden I'm doing something with yarn, I could go crazy. I'm trying not to do that. So I got this kit. And it came with everything. Had a crappy hook as well. And this one has instructions. But I realized when I started looking at these instructions, I have no idea what this means. I have no, you know, I have a little bit of knowledge, you know, which is a dangerous thing. I know, you know, SC means single chain. Do I know how to do a single chain? Not really. So, you know, so there I am. So first thing I decided is these plasticky little hooks are not going to cut it. So I ordered a set of hooks. Again, I went for cost effectiveness and I got a set that was $5 for the whole set. And they're pretty, right? Because, you know, quality wise, I have no idea if these are like good quality. They're metal crochet hooks. This is what I remember kind of playing around with as a kid. My mom didn't really crochet, but she knit sometimes, and you know, you get a crochet hook to weave stuff in. So in fact, I probably have a whole set of knitting needles and crochet hooks somewhere in my bin that I haven't opened in 10 years. So, but I got some crochet hooks. Then I saw this video online making this project with, basically they said, you know, cut zippers off of old bags and clothes. And I happened to have a purse that was actually sitting in the to go out to the trash, go out to the trash box. And I went trotting over there and grabbed it, and it had 2 zippers in it. I cut it out. So this video on YouTube that I was watching was using a zipper and making like a bag. So at that time, I had this ball of Red Heart Super Saver yarn in white that I got for something else, and it didn't work for the other thing, but I'm like, I have this yarn. So I started trying to teach myself from that video and one of these one of the rescued zippers. And I started this thing, and you know, I kind of was getting it, kind of looked like crap, but you know, I wasn't really enjoying working with this yarn. I felt like it was cheap, which I guess Red Heart is a good brand, but anyway, so I started doing this thing, and that's how far I got on it. And then I decided to order one ball of yarn from Amazon. So yeah, so I decided to order one ball of yarn from Amazon. And I have a bunch of zippers I ordered a whole set of like these lacy zippers from when I made project bags. So like this type of project bag, I have these zippers, the kind that you would put on the outside actually because they're pretty. So I have a whole bag of them. So I thought, okay, well, can I use those zippers? And I had to figure out a way, because the way that the video that I was watching, they actually poke through the edge of the zipper to do the initial stitches. And I didn't want to do that because the zipper's pretty. So I wove some yarn through sort of the daisies and then used the loops on the back to do my foundation row or whatever. So this is the ball of yarn that I bought. This was, I think it was less than $4. It was like $3.80 or something. And it's really pretty. And I used one of those lace zippers. And this is how far I am. And it's going to be a bag. So you keep doing this stitch and, you know, make it however long you want. And then close it, you know. So there's a ton of mistakes in here. There's parts of it that look like I am crocheting with my feet. And sometimes when I'm crocheting, I look like a caveman. Or like a 1-year-old who's trying to eat for the first time with a fork or something. But I'm learning. I'm trying to kind of learn tension, how to hold my yarn for myself so that it works right. I think I tend to have tight tension. So I'm trying to hold it looser. And then of course, when I hold it too loose, then I get some sort of loopy stitches. But I think overall, I'm doing a pretty good job. Now, the yarn is doing a lot of the work here, right? Because the yarn is really pretty. And I still don't know, like I think this is using single crochet, and I know kind of what single crochet is now, that stitch. So, you know, when it's done, obviously it's got a zipper built in. So I know what single crochet is and kind of how to do that. And then this is, you know, a stitch where you're, I don't know what it's called. You're making these bobbles. There's a mistake right there. See, and like that one, obviously I was holding it too loose because it's all like big. But I think that it's nice because crochet is kind of supposed to be lacy, and it seems like it's kind of forgiving. So anyway, I've been working on this and enjoying it. And as I said, I still don't know, like I don't know how to do double crochet or exactly what it is. I'm probably going to have to watch videos to kind of learn all these stitches, because reading a pattern, I still don't know exactly, you know, it's like, okay, I can learn how to read the pattern, but that doesn't mean I know how to do the stitches it said. I came across a site online called Love Crafts, and oh my god, you guys, it's, you know, it's an online shop just like 123 Stitch or something like that, but they have free patterns, free crochet patterns anyway. I don't know about knitting, or they must have free knitting patterns too, and they must have, I don't know about cross stitch, they might. Check it out. But Love Crafts, and I went onto the free beginning crochet patterns, and there's like 1,000, and I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, if you don't limit it to beginning crochet, there's like 6,000, and then if you just say beginning, there's like 1,000. Now I printed these out all in black and white at work, but so I want to make these. Those look pretty easy. When I know what I'm doing, then I would want to make this for Reagan, but I mean, that's gonna be quite a while before I know what I'm doing. And this blanket pattern, which they said is a floss eater or a yarn eater, but it's really pretty. And of course you can't see how pretty it is because it's not in color, but it's really pretty. Here's another amigurumi, that's the word, amigurumi, that I would want to do for myself. Here's a shawl that I like. You can't really see. And then this cushion. So those are just the ones I printed out. As I said, it's like this site has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patterns. I also so yeah, I mean, love crafts, and so I was excited about that. So I printed all those patterns, and I'm like, okay, well, I would like to have a little bit more yarn, and I'm trying not to go crazy. So again, I looked on Amazon, my friend Amazon, and I got 2. Again, these were not that expensive. They were less than $10. 3 skeins of this one, or balls. Do you call it skeins when it's yarn? I don't know. Anyway, 3 balls of that. These are cotton, but they're washable. And 3 skeins, or 3 balls of this one, which is a stripey kind of thing. Purple stripey thing. And I figured like one of these is going to be that pair of socks. Once again, I kind of know what I'm doing, which I don't really yet. Then I thought I would like to kind of follow a pattern, because again, this is not a written pattern. This is, I'm following a video tutorial online. But I kind of want to practice to like read a pattern. So there's all kind, again on Love Crafts, I'm dropping all over myself. On Love Crafts, there is a lot of dishcloths. I guess it's the thing, is dishcloths and washcloths and makeup removers and stuff crocheted. And there's this scrubby yarn, I guess that's made specifically for that kind of stuff. So I got a 4-pack. I got the Surprise Me variety pack because it was cheaper than picking colors, and I ended up getting these 3 colors and this silver color, and decided to try that out. I started with this one because I like it the least. Oops. I'm gonna lose my thing here, which I don't want to do. Hold on. Don't want to lose my loop. So I just found an easy pattern on Lovecrafts for a scrubby thing, and I know it looks like a mess. It looks like I'm crocheting with my feet, but actually look, I'm not. It's still kind of semi-square, you know. I'm not like losing stitches. It's not like all of a sudden going into a triangle. So yeah, and you know, it's scrubby. It'll be cool to like scrub a dish with. You know, and I don't care that it's not my favorite color, because I'm just trying to learn, you know, the reading of the pattern. So this one is basically, you do straight single chain, and then when you go back on the other side, you do skip a stitch, stitch 3 single chains in, or 3 single stitches in 1 stitch, skip a stitch, single chain 1, skip a stitch 3, skip a stitch, like that, and you go all the way across, and then you come back all single stitch. So that makes these sort of round things. So I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but I'm having fun with it. I'm having a lot of fun learning the crochet, and I'm gonna have to, I know I'm gonna have to look at like YouTube videos to really figure out how to do these stitches, because obviously looking at a pattern, it tells you to do something, it doesn't tell you how. So I'm gonna, you know, but YouTube is a great resource, right? So I'm sure all I have to do is look up, you know, how to do a slip stitch, and it'll show me. So anyway, I think I'm doing okay. I mean, I think this looks pretty good actually for, you know, I started this on Wednesday or something like that, you know. I mean, I'm enjoying it. And see, I wove, or so did a running stitch through the lace part so that I could get a loop to start the thing instead of actually going through. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, I started a thing. I need another craft in my life. Like, I need a hole in my head, but this is how I do things. Now, whether, you know, this is going to be an obsession that's going to last, or whether it's going to be an obsession that's going to dissipate, I couldn't tell you. I am using one of the project bags that I made to house my crochet project, which is kind of fun. And I am not intending at this point to buy any more yarn, because I have now 2 things that I'm working on, and I have to like get more used to actually doing the crochet and everything. I have 2 projects in this, you know, these kits that I ordered, and then I have this other yarn that I've ordered. So this is enough yarn for me for now. And I will try and hold myself back from ordering anything else until I get further along in this craft and see if I like it, if I'm any good at it, etc. The other bit of haul that I got this week is I got a cross stitch magazine in the mail, just cross stitch. And this one actually I think has several things that are cute in it. It has these fairies. So there's going to be a whole series of these. The winter one came out last time, and I don't know if I have that magazine or if I just saw it, but this is the spring, and she's pretty. And what else is in here that I thought was really cute? There's a bunch of Easter stuff, which is not, you know, me, of course. The cover photo is, the cover picture is really pretty. And what else? Oh, I thought this is really pretty. Spring Visitor. anyway, so that was fun to look through. I have all of these magazines to go through that were gifted to me, and then eventually I'm gonna give a bunch of them away, keep a few. I don't know. That's a project for another day. that's more than I want to deal with right now. Okay, so next thing I want to talk to you guys about is oh, it was a pen that fell off. Okay, I thought it was a crochet hook and it wasn't. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about quickly is plans for April, because before I see you again, it's going to be April 2nd. And so I wanted to kind of go over what the patterns I'm going to be starting next month are. So my April theme is going to be friends and family. And when I say friends and family, what that means to me as far as a theme for stitching is that all of the projects are either for a friend or family member or in honor, you know, or they make me think of that person or whatever. So that's the theme. And so what I'm going to be working on, I am going to be working on Bellatrix next month, which I just showed you. And she's actually more for me in that, okay, I said this before, Bellatrix, this pattern makes me think of my D&D character that I play when I'm playing with Erin and Logan and Reagan. So it, you know, makes me think of D&D, makes me think of them. So she's kind of like for me, but in honor of me or in honor of D&D, but also makes me think of my family. So she's going to be part of the project wheel next month. And then in addition to that, I have put Kitty Magic in the mix because this project, to a certain extent, makes me think of my mom. Before we ever got our first cat, my mom always said she wanted a fluffy white cat. And then our first cat was a gray-haired, gray short hair, big little, you know, big beastie of a cat. So my mom never got the fluffy white cat. This is not a fluffy white cat either. It's a fluffy black cat. But I don't know. It just makes me think of my mom when I stitch on this. She really liked cats. And I don't even think she knew she really liked cats until we got our first cat. We got our first cat after we had moved down to Southern California. After my dad died, you know, a couple years after that, we moved down to Southern California, and we hadn't had a pet since we moved. And my brother and I were really like, we really want a pet. And my mom was working, you know, working full time. She's like, we can't have a dog. And she's like, okay, we can get a cat. And we ended up getting a cat. As I said, she wanted a fluffy white cat, and she was kind of like, had her ear out for a fluffy white cat. And then we were across the street at our neighbor's house who had a bunch of like Persians. And my mom was talking about wanting to get a cat for us. And the lady was like, oh, I think my neighbor across the fence, I think her cat had kittens. Let me call her and see if there's any left. And there was one cat left, and they passed him over the fence. He was just a little guy. But of course, if you have in your head that you might be open to getting a pet, and somebody puts that pet in your hand, you're going home with it, right? So that was our first cat. That was Ponce de Leon, Ponce, and he was a wonderful cat. So anyway, long way to tell you that my mom really loved cats. So this one kind of makes me think of her, and I'm still in that top corner, which is hard to see on screen right now. It's very sparkly. White background. Haven't gotten into the darkness of the kitty yet, but who knows? Maybe I will this coming month. Or maybe I'll just have another big diagonal of white. It's actually like 5 or 6 colors of white and light gray, but okay, so that is Kitty Magic. This is Petals and Caffeine. I am making this for Stacy. And I kind of slowed down on doing this because she started stitching and it's kind of like, well, you know, now she's stitching for herself. So I kind of slowed down on me stitching for her. The pattern says this home runs on cuddles and caffeine, but I changed it to this mom. Stacy is a very big coffee drinker. And so I'm actually kind of hoping that I could maybe get this done this month. So we'll see. This is a project for my brother. Now I have done cross stitch for actually their whole family already, but this specifically was something I wanted to do for my brother. So this is, I'm calling my Star Trek casts. So I'm doing all four, the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. And they're all this style. This is from Fangirl Stitches, I think. Yeah, Fangirl Stitches on Etsy. I've made a few changes to it. I don't like the way it's charted with these little, the X's as the eyes. I think they look weird, so I am doing beads for the eyes. I'm adding some etoile for like the insignias and stuff. And anyway, here I am on this one. This is on Under the Sea Looking Glass. So the original series is finished except for the last two guys don't have their eyes. So yeah, I got like 4 patterns and I'm putting them all together on this one. Okay, this is going to be a new start for my friend Tracy. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I'm kind of stitching her a series of birds. When they moved to Pittsburgh, like right before I started my channel, actually, like so in spring of 2019, and I started stitching her. I stitched her a some chickadees. She loves the birds in her backyard, and so I kind of just started stitching her birds. She likes very natural looking, like real looking birds patterns. So that's what I've done. So I stitched her the chickadees, and I stitched her, what was the last one I did? A blue jay. And now I'm going to do the cardinal. So it's going to be this one. So she's gotten 3. So she's got the 2 birds for me, and then Stacy and I stitched her a chipmunk at the end of last year. So the 2 birds that I stitched for her so far have been on this backgrounds fabric. I got 2 packages each of 3 colors. And each package is enough for 2 projects. So I have enough of this backgrounds fabric for 12 birds. Is that right? Yeah, 12 birds. So I've stitched one on like a light blue backgrounds, one on a light pink, and then this one is going to go on the beige. So it's a printed backgrounds, 28 count Lugana. And I like the fact that all the birds, you know, that at least 12 of them can be on the same fabric. So yeah, so this is going to be the cardinals. These are the colors. And again, the stuff I stitched for Tracy is pretty much the only like super realistic getting into trouble. Super realistic looking stuff. So that is another project for next month. This is my classic Pooh. I stitch on this in honor of my dad. And I don't stitch on this that often. I pull it out every so often, so it's going to take me a really long time to finish this. But, you know, I'm not in any rush. This is where I am. Again, in honor of my dad, because I have a very nice memory when I was a little kid of him reading me the story. And so I like stitching, and that makes me think of him. Not that I, you know, need an excuse. Oops. And then I have another project that is sort of in honor of my dad. The bird song, Turn, 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 was one of his favorite songs. And then I have this, and where is my original picture? So this is To Everything There's a Season. This is an older chart, obviously. I got this when I was like first started stitching. It's a handwritten chart. So, you know, it could be considered old-fashioned, but I don't care. I still think it's really pretty. I pulled all my own colors for it, just using all the stuff that I had in a bag that I got from a big eBay lot. And you can tell that this was something that I started when I was a very new stitcher. It's on a, you know, 14 count fabric, 14 count Aida. I'm using sort of a Light Effects, the Light Effects DMC sparkly floss in the border, which I hate. So it's like every time I pull this out, I have to stitch some of the border stitches, because if I did everything and didn't and left the border for the end, I don't think I'd ever finish it. But anyway, the summer apple tree is finished. I'm working on the spring. To Everything There Is a Season. Turn, turn, turn. So that is also in honor of my dad. And then I would like to focus on a finish on this. This is my Lion Biscorn U that I started with my friend Dawn. And started in August, and I'm close to actually being finished, because I finished the front. The front's done. I started on the back portion, which of course should go fast because it's just the outline, and then there's a little clump of flowers in each corner. So yeah, there's really, I should get this done very easily, but you know, you say that and then you don't ever pull it out. So I would like to get that done. And so I started with my friend Dawn, so it fits into the friends and family. And then last but not least, I'm going to start this. And this is for my nephew, Hudson. Hudson is 8. So I'm thinking that he might get it for his 18th birthday. It's not actually really that big. This is a full coverage charted by Artisy. But it's a mini solar system adapted from artwork by Adrian Chesterman. And it's 200 by 139. So as far as full coverages go, it's not that huge. It should be fully doable in several years. I was going to do it on this fabric, which is a 28 terracotta Jobelan. But I had a friend on my Zoom. She actually joined the Zoom for the first time. She said that she stitched something on this terracotta Jobelan, and hated it so much she actually abandoned the project because she said it was very difficult to see the stitches or to see the holes of the fabric, which concerns me a little bit because on a full coverage, it's like if it becomes a chore, I won't do it. So I pulled this out as an alternative, and this is a 22 count hardanger that I dyed. I mean, the color doesn't really matter because, you know, it's full coverage. I know I can see hardanger just fine. This is 22 count versus 28, so this will make the project bigger overall. I still think I would want to do it in tent, and I think 2/110 is still going to be doable. I'm going to just have to experiment a little bit. So that is it. Yes. That is my plans for April. And I'm actually excited to start this solar system. I really like doing full coverage. I mean, I think I would probably do more full coverage, except that I don't see enough progress quickly enough for it to keep me going. I enjoy it when I do it, but I don't know. As I've gone forward in my stitching journey, I am drawn more to bigger projects. So maybe that, you know, the fact that it takes me a long time doesn't matter. I don't know how to say that. But anyway, okay, I'm at over an hour now, so this has turned out to be a very long video. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. I mean, it is or it isn't. I can't do anything about it now. But anyway, so thank you so much for bearing with me for this video. I hope you liked all the projects I showed you, all of the stuff I've been stitching, all of my new crochet obsession. And I'm excited to start on these other projects for April. You know, it's hard to say goodbye to the projects I've been working on for a month, and to put them away, but it's always exciting to pull out ones that I haven't stitched on for a while. So, yeah, so I'm liking this theme thing. It's working pretty well for me, I think, and I'm looking forward to all of my stitching next week. So, until I see you guys again, I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope your weather is nice, whatever you like. I'm not going to say always sun because, you know, I like it when it rains. So, I hope you get the weather that you want. I hope that you're feeling good. I hope all of your family, friends, and pets are healthy and happy. And until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.